Love it, man. Love it. Love it. Awesome. Appreciate having Ross here. He's going to do a great job. Already doing a great job for us. So, all the crowd back there is back here. The gang's all here, and so, man, it's game week. I'm excited. I really am. I mean, this is just so much fun to have an opportunity to get back on the field and play, and I'm ready to kick it off. I'm cannot wait to see our team play and just kind of see where we are. I think that's where every head coach is at this point. Is, you know, it's just game one, and all right, we're gonna you can only find out so much in practice, and so I'm just excited to see how we handle a game atmosphere and just play somebody and get some knowledge on where we are and what we got to do to continue to improve. That's what we want to do. We just want to get better one day at a time, 1 week at a time, all year long, and give ourselves an opportunity to have a great season. We've had a really good camp. It's been a tough camp, and I think that you know, the team is well prepared for the totality of the season. That's what we try to do through camp, is expose them and get them ready to what they're going to see and what we think we need to be able to do from a schematic standpoint all throughout the season. And I thought our guys handled that very well, and we came through it in a good fashion. For the most part, a pretty healthy team. So I'm excited about really having good depth as we kick it off. Furman, just a few things about them. First of all, I really like Clay. Got an opportunity to be around him a little bit over the last couple of years, and just a heck of a football coach, a great man, and very good at what he does, and very impressive what they've done at Furman. You know, just this last year, I think they were one of the most improved teams in the country. I think they went like maybe +5 win total up, you know, from the year before. So just really impressive with their season last year. They had a heck of a run into the playoffs, and just got better and better as they really, I think, have bought into what Clay's trying to do there. So, you know, impressive. It's one of the, again, one of those games where sometimes I think people say, well, you know, you're playing Furman and this and that, and we don't ever look at it that way. We really don't. We just simply, we have a standard, and it doesn't change whether you're playing a 1AA opponent or you're playing in the national championship game. The standard doesn't change. It's the exact same every single week, and that's how you develop consistency in what you're trying to do, and that's worked well for us. So we get ready for the opponent, but you know, we really spend more time about how we play. And again, how we play is based on how we prepare, the effort, the focus, the attention to detail, those type of things, and that's what we focus on week in and week out. And sometimes people say, well, you know, they're playing Furman. It's a game that you know, Clemson should win or whatever. And I'm like, well, you know what? Furman has beaten Clemson 10 times. You know, 10. So it's not like they beat them once, and you know, the skies parted. Double digits wins against Clemson. I don't know when the last one was, but I know they beat them 10 times, and I'll guarantee you, those 10 times, Clemson was probably favored. Was probably supposed to win the game. So supposed to, don't get it done. You know, this is a game of performance, and you better show up every single week. Openers are always tough, and this will be a tough opener for us. When you look at their defense, they got 10 of 11 starters back that are juniors and seniors. All right, they got 9 returning starters, so they're a veteran team, and they got a bunch of guys back with good experience that know what they're doing. And all the D linemen are back, the whole secondary's back, and they added Trapp, who knows a good player, to that mix. You know, one of their all-conference linebackers is back, so it's a really good group that knows what they're doing, that I think will be improved. And then offensively, to be quite honest with you, man, it is stressful to watch them. it is very stressful. They do a great job schematically, a great job. Shifts and motions and in and out of option offense into traditional spread looks, and so you gotta be able to play base defense, option defense. I mean, they really stress you, and they do an unbelievable job with their play action game. You know, so they can expose you in a heartbeat. They throw the ball last year 20 times a game. You know, that kind of surprised me initially. But they throw it 20 times a game. They average 17 yards a catch. So it's usually a big play, and but most of it is built off of their option principles and the play action. There's not a lot of drop back, so it puts a lot of strain on you from a discipline standpoint, and especially the guys on the back end where their eyes are. And so this will be a challenge. Every opener is tough because you haven't played anybody, and then you line up and you play a team that's going to really challenge you from a assignment standpoint. You know, it's a little stressful getting ready for a bunch like this. I mean, and it's really easy to see why they had the success they had last year. So it'll be a big challenge for us, and we're excited about it. Their kicker back, the kicker and punter, same guy, he's back. But it's, at the end of the day, it's a special time. And for us, you know, the season starts now for a lot of people, especially our fans. But it starts in January for us. I mean, and we check a lot of boxes. I mean, it's off season, it's mat drills, it's self-evaluation, it's spring practice, it's exit interviews, it's transformation, summer grind, it's fall camp. There's just a lot of things, boxes that are checked, but it all builds to this. This is why we do all that. It all builds to this moment, and that is the season. And we get 12 opportunities. That's really all we get that we're guaranteed, Lord willing. And so, man, it's just exciting to know that it's finally here, and you know, we've got an opportunity to have that first goal in front of us, and that's to win the opener. We've done a pretty good job of that over the last 9 years, and so hopefully, you know, we can achieve the very first goal. You know, Saturday. That's what we're trying to do. And then the last thing, just want to offer our thoughts and prayers to Zach. And you know, I know his wife literally, I don't even know why you're here, but literally is recovering, I think, from a double mastectomy yesterday. Is that correct? She's been battling breast cancer, and you know, Kath, my wife, has had to go through the same procedure, and so I know exactly what's going on there, but I think she's recovering well now. But anyway, thoughts and prayers with you, and just hope that Michelle will recover nicely. Okay, so with that, I'll take your questions.
1936.
There you go. There you go. I'm sure that 1936 bunch was probably favored to win.
Is there any film available of that? You're playing.
Tim might get Tim Beret. Somewhere.
You're playing 3 of your first 4 games against veer-oriented teams. I mean, obviously Air Force and Furman's a little bit different than Georgia Southern, Paul Johnson's train, but kind of the same idea. What benefits and challenges does that present to play them all so close together?
Well, I mean, I guess, you know, benefits are you get a lot of practice on cut blocks, and you know, it's not a foreign thing to you. You get more practice time against that. The bad part of it is the other teams get to see you play, because most of the time when you play an option team, they don't really have a lot of tape to study you on. You know, as far as how you might defend certain things. So it's good and bad.
Coach, you said last week that the quarterback competition wasn't as clear cut as it was last year. How close exactly are Kelly and Trevor right now, and could you see this competition going game by game well into the season?
Yeah, that's I haven't had a chance to talk to y'all yet, but that's exactly where we are. Last year really wasn't close. It wasn't. It was very different. You know, first of all, Kelly's trying to win the job. Everybody's trying to win the job, and you know, it went. It wasn't close. It was very clear cut, and you know, that's where we were. This year's different in that you know, now you got a proven guy. guy who started for 14 games for me. He's won a conference championship in his first year as a starter. And, you know, people get better. You know, people improve. And that's, I don't care where you start, guys improve. And that's what's happened with Kelly. He's had a tremendous year, prep since January. And, you know, I've had a front row seat, no idea how it was going to play out. Obviously, you bring a guy in here like Trevor Lawrence, who is really off the charts from a talent standpoint, but you don't ever know until you start coaching a guy, how's that going to translate. You know, guys can be really, really talented in high school, but sometimes it takes a little longer to translate to this level. You know, there's a lot going on, and but he demonstrated this spring that he's one of those unique guys that he has this unique talent, but he also demonstrated that, man, he was absorbing it very well, and he wasn't overwhelmed, but still made a lot of mistakes. I mean, it's just a lot, and Kelly was the clear winner in spring as far as, okay, well, he's the starter. But it was also pretty obvious that, man, you got a guy right here that we think he's going to get better. And that's kind of how we went into camp. And that's what we saw. But I'll tell you, I'm really, really proud of Kelly because, man, you got to have thick skin when you play quarterback. And you got so many people with their opinions and agendas and, you know, they don't watch practice, they don't watch one tape, when they do, they don't know what they're watching. I don't know what the people are being asked to do. They don't know who's right, who's wrong, and so, you know, I've just been really proud of him because how he's handled it. It's been really a breath of fresh air because he's just been locked in on himself. He's had an awesome camp, 3 scrimmages. I think he was 23 of 32, 300-something yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and just did a tremendous job. Played with, you know, both groups. Didn't always get first-team reps. Those reps were split all camp, and so, you know, he just came out on top from a grade standpoint. And that's, you know, at some point you gotta go play, and so that's where we are. The flip side of that is Trevor did exactly what we thought he would do, and man, he came back more in control of what was going on, a better knowledge base, and as he should. He'd already been through installation, and really, and physically, and just I mean, he's a very gifted guy. I mean, he's 6'6", 216 pounds, but just mentally in a really good place. And the game has slowed down for him. He's demonstrated a really good command. He had a great camp, but you know, Kelly was the most consistent. And that's just where we are. So Kelly's earned the opportunity to go start because somebody's got to run out there first. He's earned the opportunity to do that, and nobody's giving him anything. He's earned it. But Trevor has earned the opportunity to play and to continue to compete. So that's where we are, and I'm excited about it. And the best case scenario is they both play well. I mean. And it's really sad that some people, you know, may pull for somebody not to play well, or somebody, you know, they're Clemson Tigers, and we should pull for these guys to play great. That's the way it should be. Go play well, and the best thing is they're really in control of that, and they're both very prepared to do just that. And if they'll just do what they've done in camp, which has been awesome to see. I've never had a camp with this type of quarterback play. All right, and I'm not just talking about Kelly and Trevor. I'm talking about Chase Bryce too. Man, this kid he's right there, and so it's just such a good situation. It's a very healthy situation, and this is where we are. And man, I'm pulling. I want them to, when they run out there, they're Tigers. You know, we're going to play more than one running back. I want them all to play well. We're going to play a lot more than 4 D linemen, and I want them all to play well. We're going to play a lot more than 5 offensive linemen. We got 8, 9, 10 receivers that deserve to play. They'll have opportunities to play. I want them to play well. So that's the quarterback that's just where we are this year. We've got really talented guys that have earned the opportunity to play, and man, we should pull for them to play well. And so it's exciting. You know, you got a guy that's proven, and I cannot say enough about Kelly in this day and age, just how he's handled himself, his character, his selflessness. He's just locked in on, and he pulls for Trevor. And same thing with Trevor. Trevor is one of the most low-maintenance dudes you'll ever meet. I know he looks like Hollywood and all that, but he ain't none of that. He's just show up, do your job, yes or no, sir. Loves his teammates, kind of a guy, and Chase is the same way. And so it's just awesome. And you know, they're in control of their performance. You know, when we grade these guys, I'm not worried about if a receiver drops the ball, the left tackle misses a block. We're grading them on their knowledge, on their execution, on their performance. And so that's where we are. And if something changes, well, we'll all see it. You know, because it's not like practice. Y'all get to watch the games, and so everybody will have a front row seat to see it. And so Kelly doesn't have a 12-game contract to be the starter, and Trevor doesn't have a 12-game contract to continue to deserve to play. You know, don't worry about who starts. When you play, play well, and that's what I tell everybody at every position. You're not entitled to play. It doesn't work that way. I don't have a lifetime contract. I mean, I got to prove that I should be the head coach. I have to earn that every year. I have to earn that every week. You know, that's just the way it is. And so that's life. But these guys all understand that, and they embrace that, and let's go to work. It's going to be fun.
You've been waving the Chase Bryce flag, as you told us the other day, and he's third string. You said he's right there. Everybody's focused on Kelly Trevor. How are you going to get Chase snaps as far as dividing it up? You know, is it going to be thirds, or what's your plan to get him in the game too?
Well, we will have a plan for the first two, because that's where we are, just like we do with our first two deep at all the positions. And then there's a lot of positions that we have a third guy, and in some cases a fourth guy. It's pretty good. We'll make sure that we track that. You know, we have a lot of staff that we track, that we'll use to track, you know, reps and touches and all that type of stuff to give people opportunities. But we definitely want to get Chase, you know, as much experience as we can this year as well, because he's earned that. But he's going to be a great player here, and he's one of those guys that I think is you know, like I said, you got to first. Somebody's got to go somewhere. But don't say, okay, he's third team. Well, he must not be a very good player. Boy, that's a bad assumption. He's a very, very good player. Feaster's right now third team. He's pretty good. He's pretty good. So you know, that's it's a good situation.
Speaking of Feaster, how do you sort of expect him to respond? Coach Elliott was saying that Adam Choice was just a little more consistent, but
yeah,
what do you guys
Feaster
want to see?
missed a good bit of camp to start out. Had a little scope on his knee, and so that kind of set him back. Had an awesome summer, and I mean, just go play well. I mean, they're going to all play, so go to work. As I told y'all at the very beginning when we kicked it off, my pick this year, I think our running backs have a chance to be special as a group. We really do.
Dabo, Cornell had to deal last year with Amari coming in, competing with him. Then in the spring, you had to deal with Kendrick coming in and competing with him. What kind of camp do you think Cornell had overall, and how did he respond to?
Yeah, good. I mean, you know, that's just the nature of it. I mean, we're going to recruit best players every year, and so when you're a sophomore, you're going to deal with freshmen that come in here. When you're a junior, you're going to deal with freshmen and sophomores that develop. When you're a senior, it's just the way it is. And the best player's going to play. You know, that's just the way we do things. Amari won the job, and he's a sophomore. Cornell's a junior, but it means Amari's going to run out there first. But Cornell had a really good camp. He really did. We're going to start him at kick returner. We're kind of I thought he did a nice job with his opportunities in camp. So, you know, I don't think he was really quite ready for the show. And so he's going to get another opportunity to see he was special in high school, see if he's ready to kind of, you know, take that job. And so it's all about performance at this point. I mean, you know, everything right now is set based on performance in camp. everything moving forward will be set on performance as we move through. So it's kind of a clean slate at this point. And so I'm excited about Cornell. I think he's poised to have a really good year for us. And it's the same thing. We don't just play, 3 receivers. I mean, I think we've led the nation in snaps, I don't know, 2 or 3 years in a row. So we got to have a lot of depth, and he's a guy that I'm fully confident in going in there and starting, playing 50% of the reps or whatever. I'm very confident in him right now.
Coach, Jurgens decided to hang up his pads. You've been playing Kelly inside at tackle. How does that affect your depth, and what does that mean for those younger guys like Foster and Xavier Thomas?
It really doesn't affect our depth. He didn't practice really all camp, and you hate it. And he's cleared to go and all that, but just not quite mentally where he needs to be. And I think he sees a bigger picture, and he's been in a. This guy's won a neck brace, and he's had to deal with things that most people haven't really had to process in their mind. So the decision that he made, and certainly support that. But from a depth standpoint, it really did not affect us, just because, like I said, he really didn't do much during camp, and we have good depth there. So we got a lot of guys that will get opportunity to play as we go through the season at that end.
Coach, have you ever coached against a player on another team as a student at your school?
No, not that I know of. That's a first for me. That's pretty unusual. So I guess it's a dual enrollment or some type of deal, but what a neat story that is, and he must be an awesome student. I know he's a senior, but for him to be able to do what he's done, and then balance being enrolled at Clemson as well, that's pretty cool. I guess he can't lose. Huh? It's going to be 1-0 no matter what. However he wants to.
1-1 actually.
Yeah, 1-1. Yeah, there you go. 1-1. That's true. Good.
It wasn't that long ago that you were, kind of standing up here talking about the season and how people's perspective on Clemson was little old Clemson, and now, I'd be hard pressed to find somebody that isn't picking Clemson to win the ACC this year. And certainly that doesn't mean you guys go out and automatically do it, but is it a little bit of a different, for you as a coach who's got to motivate guys week in and week out, and you've got this whole team of guys who've really never known anything but success in getting to the playoff? Is it a little bit different job for you in terms of preparing these guys now because of that, sort of the external of perception of the program?
Well, it's different than it was back in 9 and 10 and probably 11, but really not since then. I mean, we've been pretty good. We were second winningest team in the last 8 years. So I guess it's just taking some people longer to kind of figure it out that we've been pretty good. So we're just operating the way we've always operated. It's isn't like, oh man, boy, we've been good now. We better change how we talk to the team and motivate the team. We're doing what we've always done. I think we've been in the top 10 44 weeks in a row. Us and Alabama, maybe 45 weeks in a row. And I think the next closest team is like 20-something weeks. So that's a long time that these guys have been, dealing with all the so-called, being the target and all that stuff. So it's really just business as usual for us. It's not anything new. It's been this way for a long time.
Is it, when you have guys like Christian and Austin and Cleveland who clearly, had they chosen to, could have moved on to the next level and be earning a paycheck and playing on Sundays now, that said, I want to come back and I want to be a part of this for another year, does that in some ways become sort of a motivating factor for everybody? Like, hey, these guys could be getting paid to do this right now, and they're here because they see something bigger than
Well, I think everybody's motivating factors are individual, and but it's certainly these guys are great examples, and they've been huge role models for the young players on this team, and they're epitome of all in. They're epitome of what we want our program to be about. I mean, these are guys that have graduated, are all going to have their degree by December, and just special people. And yeah, for them to, I think it says a lot about their experience here, their love of Clemson, you know, and their motivating factors are their motivating factors. You know, you may have a group down the road that has different motivating factors, and I don't think it's good or bad. I think it's just kind of, you know, every individual has to kind of make up, you know, their mind what's best for them, and we support them no matter what.
A few weeks ago, you used the term differentiated when you talked about Adam Choice at 225, how he kind of set himself apart. Do you see him as sort of a complementary piece that you haven't had with some of the things he brings to the table in the backfield? And is that maybe a little bit of the thing behind putting him second on the depth chart there?
No, he's second on the depth chart because that's what he's earned. That's what he did in camp. I mean, like I said, we grade everything, and if the grades don't matter, why do we waste time doing that? You know, why do we do that? The grades matter. Your performance matters. It doesn't matter if you're a senior or a freshman or what. None of that matters. You have to earn it. Christian Wilkins is starting at 3 technique not because he had a great year last year. None of that carries over. Not because he's a senior. Not because he came back. He's starting at 3 technique because he's earned it through his performance in practice and how he handles himself off the field. Everything matters. It's not just on the field too. It's the totality in our program. It's the totality of performance and commitment and those type of things. So that's just the way it shook out. I mean, you know, where we are. You know, Feaster went in, won, but got banged up and missed some time, and whew, man, ET is just so much improved and got the opportunity, took it and ran with it. And man, Choice has had an awesome camp. He's had an awesome camp, and then Feaster really came on here at the end. He got back healthy and just where you are, got to line them up somehow, and so it's just all based on performance. It's not anything about him being differentiated. It's just that's how he graded out. And so now, again, we go to the games and you know, we'll see how it shakes out on game day. But what I meant by that is he's just different. He is different, and he is a good combination of the guys that we have. And you know, I just love these guys, man. And I didn't know wasn't really counting on NJ coming in. Boy, has he been a pleasant surprise. You know, he's probably a little ahead of ET at this point last year. You know, just a little bit more confident when it comes to pass protection and just schematically, you know, have a little bit more confidence in what we're doing. So, man, we're in a really good spot there. It's going to be fun to watch those guys play fast, and they'll all have big moments. They're going to all have big moments. I'm happy for Adam too, because I mean, he's y'all know he's had a lot of ups and downs and injuries and things like that, but he's just in such a good spot, and you know, he's gonna be a tough player for us.
Coach, you spoke of Kelly Bryant, how well he's dealt with all the criticism, whatever it is. Do you give your players advice on how to drown out the noise and kind of just stay focused on
Yeah,
what they're doing?
absolutely, all the time. Yeah, we talk about that stuff all the time. You know, focus on what matters, focus on what you control. Again, you gotta have thick skin in this deal. I mean, if you're gonna you're gonna have criticism. Doesn't matter what you do. I mean, you know, a third of the people are gonna always hate you. That's just the way it is. I mean, I walk in a room and I got a logo on. They don't know me from Adam, but they hate me immediately. You know, that's just the way it is. And I could move somewhere tomorrow and take a job somewhere else and put a different logo on, and immediately half the people would hate me because you got that logo on. So it just comes with the territory, and then you're going to have a third of people going to always love you, no matter what. You know, like your mom. And then you're going to have a third of the people that, man, they can kind of go either way. They just kind of shift this way and then shift that way. And it just comes with the territory. So, man, if you get caught up in that stuff, you just have no chance to be consistent, because you'll just be wishy-washy and moody. You know, I mean, when you're dependent upon other people's approval and those things, you've got to stay focused on what you control, and that, again, that's how you think. That's your effort. That's your preparation, and those type of things, and how you respond when something bad happens, because something bad's going to happen. It's just a fact.
Has Jackson Carmen been kind of what you thought he was coming into as a freshman, or exceeded? Or?
Yeah, well, he wasn't when he got here. He was, whew, man. Yeah, he was 370-ish. He was way, but amazing. He athletically, yes, because I couldn't believe this spring how he could move with that type of weight. I mean, he still could move pretty dang good, and his endurance was pretty good. But he just couldn't bend, and he wasn't very strong, and his body composition obviously wasn't very good. And so that part was a little disappointing when he got here. And so you're like, okay, well, let's just see. You know, we're going to find out if this kid really, if it's important to him. And man, did he have an unbelievable spring and summer, you know, more so post-spring, summer, and really had a great fall camp. He's very smart. You know, again, you don't know that until you start coaching the guy. Okay, but man, just very smart. He's played guard, he's played tackle, we've moved him around, and that's unusual. So I've been very encouraged with that. But he's just a mountain of a man, and now he's just in such good shape, and he's still a puppy. I mean, he's going to be a monster. Coach B and them get done with him, you know, as he develops. But I'm very proud of him. And yes, where he is right now, that's kind of what a vision that I had for him. But he didn't come in that way. And so, you know, that's kudos to our strength conditioning. It's kudos to Paul Harrington and Donna and all them, Howie down in the dining hall, and how it's been a holistic approach to kind of get him a better version of himself in August than when he got here. But it's also a tremendous job by Jackson, because he's got to do it. And his willingness is what I've been so proud of. And just has a good spirit to him. He seems like he's just in a good place. He's a happy kid. And I just think he's kind of, you know, figured some things out. And hopefully he'll stay the course.
Dabo, BT Potter's been named the kickoff specialist. Is that a result of him winning the job, or is it a result of people not being able to compete for that job?
Just winning it. It's not close. It's just that simple. I mean, it's like when Sammy Watkins came in here. It wasn't close. He's got it. I don't even know how he generates that kind of power with that body. But he's just powerful. I mean, it's amazing to watch him kick the ball. You know, I never seen him live in game situations, but that's a pretty easy decision. It ain't got nothing to do with anybody else. He's just the best guy. But I will say this: Swinney. Don't sleep on Swinney. This kid, there's a little competition there now. So he's got a big leg too, but he's, you know, like 250 pounds or something. You kind of expect it with him, and you see this little big guy Potter room out there and just pow, you know, it's booming the ball to the back of the end zone. Even when he misses it, he still nails it. So you know, hopefully he doesn't go out there and shank one, you know, right out of the gate, young guy. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna throw him out there. I mean, he's a weapon. He's a weapon. That's why we recruited him and give him an opportunity to compete. He won the job. Beat out a senior.
Did you grade that any differently with the new rules, or is it just go in and kick it out of the end zone every time?
No, go kick it. Yeah. Go kick it. Kick it as far as you can kick it. That's the best kickoff coverage right there. Average 0 return.
Have you had many different conversations about red shirts this year than you did in years past because of the change to the rule? And will that reflect more people being on the field maybe week 1, or more that you might want to hold for the end of the season?
We've had a lot more conversation about it because of the rule change. But as I've told all the folks around here, I mean, our process did change. I mean, we still always go, okay, who do we know we want to play? And so that's like this group. All right, is there anybody, or who do we know that we definitely want to redshirt? Who are those people? And then, is there anybody on the bubble that we're not sure? And that's kind of what we've always done. And I think we got one guy on the bubble. So we kind of know our groups. And so then the conversation comes up. Something we'll talk about this week, for example. All right. Is there any redshirt freshmen that we would definitely not want to play this week? You know, if the opportunity arose. Is there somebody we would want to play? And it's kind of a week-to-week thing. And some of it's based on their preparation. Because the cool thing about it, what I love about it, is these guys have got to stay much more engaged. You know, and we've always, I think, done a good job. I think that's one reason we've been able to kind of, as guys, you know, great players move on. Somehow or another, somebody's there and ready. And it's not magical. There's a process in place, and I think we've done a nice job. We talk about it every fall, every summer as coaches. You know, I want a red shirt plan at your position. And what are you doing every week to keep that guy engaged? I want him getting installation. I want him getting the test. I want you meet with him once a week. I want to give him one thing, you know. And so staying engaged with those guys is something I think we've done a nice job of. And then how we've prepared ourselves in bowl practices and all those type of stuff as we've kind of taken the JV approach, I think that's really helped us. This is a whole nother level because now these guys, because in the past they still weren't going to get thrown in the game. You know, I mean, we're keeping them, we're doing a good job of that, but they're not playing. And so there's a certain amount of disengagement I think that still just naturally takes place. You know, their scout team and this and that. But now you got a guy that you might get in the game, and so you better be ready. So I think that part is awesome, and then there's a lot of flexibility. You may have some guys that you know right now that you're going to hold them, but maybe by the end of the year, boy, they can play out the last 4 games and really give you good depth, and they're much more prepared for that. They've kind of been through some power hour and stuff, so you got that approach, and then you got a few guys that you know for sure they're not going to be in that mix, so maybe you may go ahead and just play them early when you get the spots, just to get them a little bit of time. And then you got the other side of it. Maybe there's somebody on your roster that you'd like to steal a year back with. Maybe he's coming off an injury. Maybe it's, you know, whatever. Maybe the depth has changed at that position. Maybe a young guy has beat him out, you know, whatever. And so maybe you have the flexibility, which you didn't have in the past, where you can say, hey, you know what, let's pick 4 games here and let's stay engaged and this and that. It's not like you're not going to play, but let's try to steal a year back. So there's just a lot of flexibility that I think comes with it. I think it's a great rule change. I'm excited about it, and you know, we'll all learn a lot. You know, we'll all figure some stuff out, I'm sure, you know, for next year. But you know, we feel good about kind of where we are and what our thoughts are on it.
Do you have a plan as far as like series-wise, how early you want to get guys in at the quarterback position, or is it just going to be a feel for kind of how the game?
Oh no! I don't think that's fair to the guys. You know, we'll have a plan for sure, and you know, I'll let Street you know, handle that. I trust him. He's the quarterback coach. I trust him to manage that. If I see a need to change it, I will. But you know, I kind of every position coach, you know, has a plan when you're going to play multiple guys. So it's really no different. It's just unusual that that's where we are at quarterback this year. But yeah, we'll definitely have a plan.
Coach Elliott said yesterday that Garrett Williams had one of the best camps of anyone on offense. He was his co-starter this year. Can you just elaborate on the camp that he had?
Yeah, he also had one of the best springs, and so really the camp has just been a reflection of what he did in the spring. He had a great spring, and I think perfect example. He was a guy we stole a year back from last year, and that really has helped him. It really has made a difference, and showed up in the spring. And it's really carried over through the summer, and he just had an awesome camp. So I think he's earned that. And then obviously Milan too got banged up, whatever last week or whatever. You know, hopefully he'll be able to go this week. But either way, that's just a reflection of the great work that Garrett has put in.